Levi here, the Outdoor Cowboy, and welcome back to the Outdoor Cowboy YouTube channel. For the next 2 days, we're going to be survival camping with no tent, starting the build of our survival log cabin and eating some delicious food. So come along for the adventure and saddle up for the ride. Well, we just hiked in and I think we found our spot that we're going to set up camp. Just tossed our bag down, just have a nice little flat area, kind of nestled in some trees. So I think this will be the perfect spot to start building our shelter for the night. We're going to go start finding some dead and fallen trees to start building our walls for our log cabin. And then we'll bring it back here, start getting it sized up, getting them cut down to the right length and getting our shelter built up. So let's get started. This is my favorite saw. It's just super light and I love how it folds out. Super sharp and you can swap the blades out, but it folds completely flat and I can put it in the side of my bag, and it's nice because there's no sharp blades or anything. So I love this thing and I'll link it down below. Luckily there's a lot of fallen trees in the area, so we'll be able to salvage a lot of these off the ground. And then once we get all these picked up, then we'll go cut some dead trees down. So should be really good. There's already plenty of trees that are just right here pretty close to where we picked, so and shouldn't have to haul too much. All right, now that we're all sweaty from cutting trees, we've got a pretty good pile here, so we're gonna get started on building our shelter. The sun just went down over the mountain, so it's getting pretty late. I'm getting really hungry, so I wanna get our shelter started for the night, and then we'll get dinner cooking, which I'm excited for, so let's get working on that. I have these 3 trees that I cut shorter, and they're gonna be kind of our corner posts. So I'm gonna get my sleeping pad out here in a little bit, and we're gonna put it on the ground, kind of see where we wanna be, and then build our shelter around that. And then I'm gonna dig some holes and pound these into the ground, and then we'll build our walls around these. So we're just gonna start with 2 walls right now, just kind of a back and then a side where our head will be. And then that should be good for the night. And then in the future, we'll continue working on this and we'll make it into full log cabin at some point, and it'll be pretty sweet. So let's get started on making a couple walls and getting our shelter put together. I've got like this little survival shovel that folds up in this little case, and you just pull it out like that and it flips open. And then the handle screws in like that. Pretty sweet. I think it was only a couple dollars, and it has 2 ends. You can use it. Obviously this wouldn't be great if you're like trying to dig a bunch, or like it wouldn't be a good snow shovel, but for just digging a little hole for our trees to go in just a little bit, this should be perfect. And then as well, I got my sleeping pad that will blow up and use to kind of make the dimensions of our shelter and see how long we need it to be. So let's get working on our shelter. So we got our sleeping pad laid out. I didn't blow it up because I didn't feel like I needed to, but I think that's kind of where I want to lay. In the future, I'll probably build a bed out of wood, but for now, this is a pretty flat spot. I might dig out this area a little bit, but it should work pretty good. It's pretty level, so we should be able to sleep there pretty good. So I'm gonna dig a couple little holes where we're gonna put our corners in, and then we'll get our paracord and start fastening up the sides of it. And then our shelter will be pretty close to done, so. All right, we got our 3 corners placed. They're not in there super well, but they won't need to be. When we secure the logs to these corners with paracord, and since we have a 90-degree corner in it, it'll stabilize itself. So got that all set up. We'll move our bed out of the way, and then we'll start getting our walls for our shelter up. All right, got our first one secured, and then I just cleaned it up so our next one will fit clean on the top. Well, just like that, we got a little shelter built. Looks pretty good. It's nice and sturdy. Got maybe 2.5 feet of walls around us. That'll be perfect. So let's get our tarp hung up on these guys. Then we'll get our bedding down and then we'll get going on dinner. Well, just like that, we got a pretty cozy shelter. Love the way it turned out. We got clear skies, so don't have to worry about rain. This will just kind of insulate us, and in case it does rain, it'll cover us. But it looks great. I'm super happy with how it turned out. I think this will be a great place to sleep tonight. And then this is just a great start. Obviously, I made our corners a lot taller because in the future, we're gonna go taller with them and box the whole thing in to make a cabin. But this is all that we had time for tonight. We got up here a little later than we wanted, and the sun's already set, so it's getting darker and colder quick. So sometimes this is all that you can do. When you're out survival camping without a tent or without certain supplies, you can't always control your circumstances or the amount of time you have or where you're at or what you have. So it's important to be able to adapt to whatever circumstances you're in and be able to build the best shelter with the resources you have. We didn't have a ton of time, so this was as many fallen trees and dead trees that we could get cut and get picked up and build this little shelter like this. And it's starting to get colder and darker, so it's getting about time to wrap up for the night. Before we get our sleeping pad down and our bag out and our whole sleeping situation set up, we do have one more addition to our log cabin that we got to make. That'll help us cook and will keep us warm. So let's go grab that. You guys might have seen this addition a couple of videos back when we made it, but I'm super excited. Right now it will definitely help us, but since we're not completely enclosed, a lot of heat's going to get let out. But it won't be too cold tonight, so I think we'll be okay tonight. But I wanted to get started on this and get it up here so that we can continue working on this cabin. And hopefully by wintertime, it's fully enclosed and fully built, can sleep multiple people, and has our addition to keep us warm. So let's go grab that. Our last addition and what we're going to continue building around for our shelter is our stove that we made. We made this stove just a couple weeks ago out of 255-gallon drum. So one drum is the bottom with a hole cut in the front, and then the other one we cut in half and rolled to make our chimneys. So if you haven't seen the video where we make this, definitely go check it out because it was super fun. It'll be tagged up at the top. So go watch it when you get a chance. But we're gonna get this going to give us some warmth and give us something to cook on. And then we'll get our bedding set up and then we'll settle in for the night as it gets darker and colder. But I love how our little shelter turned out so far. It'll keep us warm, it'll keep us protected, and we should have a pretty good night's sleep. And I'm really happy with the start we've gotten in our survival log cabin. All right, we got a couple of our homemade fire starters, then our little makeshift log cabin in there. All right, just like that, we got a little fire going. All right, with our stove all going, we're gonna wait for the top to heat up because we're gonna cook our dinner on top of that. We'll get our bedding set up and then we'll be pretty much good for the night. I did want to give a shout out to go get your Outdoor Cowboy merch. It's out now, I love it. Super comfortable stuff. Also, obviously it's been through its paces. I'm all sweaty and it's all dirty and it holds really well. So super durable, super comfortable, and they're pretty sweet. I might be biased, but I think they're pretty sweet. But go check them out. I'm super excited to announce that Outdoor Cowboy merch is finally here. It's something I've been working on for a while and I couldn't be more happy about. You guys have seen me wearing these shirts in my videos. I've been putting them to the test in the outdoors. So I can tell you that they're durable, they're really high quality, and they're super comfortable. They're something that I'm proud to put the Outdoor Cowboy name on. And while the merch is pretty awesome, one of the best parts is that a portion of all Outdoor Cowboy merch sales will go to a nonprofit that supports the conservation of our outdoors and our wildlife. So by grabbing some merch, you're not just supporting me and the Outdoor Cowboy channel, you're also helping to protect the beautiful outdoors that we all love to explore and that I couldn't make my videos without. And there'll be a future video about the foundation that we donate to and their conservation efforts. We've got a couple different designs of shirts made in a bunch of different colors, one being the double logo I have on right now, and we also have hoodies and some other sweet accessories as well. My personal favorite being the Saddle Up for the Ride shirt and hoodie, so definitely go check that one out. And this is just the start of the Outdoor Cowboy brand. I have big things planned in the future for more products and designs. And as you guys know, it's really important to me that my content will always be wholesome and appropriate for all ages and members of the family, so I made sure that we have merch for all members of the family. We have shirts for adults, kids, and babies, and we even have Outdoor Cowgirl shirts. Click the link in description or go to outdoorcowboyshop.myshopify.com. So go grab your outdoor cowboy merch, support me and my channel, and support a great cause. Saddle up for the ride, and let's get back to the video. All right, before we throw a sleeping pad down, I'm gonna put my bivvy down just to kind of protect us from sticks and stuff. It'll just give us another layer of protection between the ground and our sleeping pad. Our stove smoked a little bit to get some of the dirt off, but now it's working super good. It is putting off a ton of heat. So the top should be hot, so we'll throw our pan up there and be able to make some dinner. But we definitely won't need to put a lot of wood in it to keep us warm because it is pushing a lot of heat this way, which is good. That'll be great in the winter when we have this whole thing enclosed. All right, just like that, got our sleeping situation all figured out. We are super hot from our stove, but let's get our pan and our food out and we'll see what we got for dinner. All right, we will throw our pan up here, get it warming up. And then for dinner tonight, we got some sourdough and we're gonna make some grilled cheese. And then we also brought some pepperonis and salami, so kind of a panini grilled cheese thing, but I'm super excited, it should be delicious. While we wait for our pan to cook up, put our appetizer of salami and cheese. Get her all buttered up. Alrighty, got some cheese and some salami on there. And we'll just let that cook. While we're waiting for our dinner to cook, we can see our stove's working great. The chimney's getting all the smoke and none's coming out around us, so that's super nice. And I think our dinner is just about done. Look at them perfect grill lines on that. That looks delicious. Well, our dinner's all done. Got some beautiful grill lines on there and our cheese is all melted, so I'm really excited to eat this. It looks delicious. Well, we got our dinner made, which I'm super happy about. It looks delicious and I'm starving from the day. And then I've got my water bottle and my book, and I think I'm pretty much just gonna read a little bit while I eat my dinner, and then I'll be off to bed and kind of just let the fire die out, because I think I'll be plenty warm. But I'm super surprised how much heat this thing puts off forward, so I'm super excited to be able to build this more into a cabin in the future. But for now, I'm super happy with our little shelter. It's pretty cozy, comfy, protects us from the elements, got a really pretty view of all the trees, so I'm really happy with this, and I'm going to eat my dinner and read my book a little bit and then head off to bed because I am exhausted. So I will see you guys in the morning. Well, good morning. Slept pretty good, pretty cozy. Shelter worked pretty well. It was just beautiful skies last night, so it was great to look at. And it's a beautiful morning this morning. The sun's just peeking over the mountains, so let's get dressed and then we'll get going with our day. Alrighty, for breakfast, we got more of our bread. And then we got some homemade strawberry jam, which I'm super excited for. Basically candy for breakfast, but I'm fine with that. It's got fruit in it, so it's healthy. There we go, there's breakfast. Well, that was a delicious breakfast. Can't ever go wrong with some homemade jam. So I think we're just gonna get packed up around here, clean up everything. And then I think we'll take like an hour or so and just cut a few more trees just to throw them here. Just so next time we'll already have some trees cut so we can keep working on our log cabin. But I think this is a great start. This will be easy to build off of into a full cabin. Glad we brought the stove up here. It burnt super hot last night and stayed lit for a while, so that was super nice. Didn't really need it, but it was nice to have. I'm glad that it worked so well. So in the future, when it's completely enclosed and the stove's inside, it'll keep us super warm. So hopefully we'll get to do that on some fun winter campouts. But let's get packed up here. We'll try to look for some more fallen trees. So next time we'll be able to build a little bit more, and hopefully we'll get up here earlier so we'll have more time to build. But this whole thing will definitely take us multiple days. So I'm excited to be able to spend time on it and make a cool little cabin up here that we can come survive in. And even in the winter, we'll be able to stay warm. So pretty sweet. Little blow up pillows like this are awesome. They make camping way better because a lot of times people don't bring pillows, but they don't hardly weigh anything and they pack up in like the size of basically like a little soda can. So definitely get one of these if you don't have one. It'll make sleeping way better. All right, there we are, all cleaned up. I think we're gonna take our tarp off and just shove it inside the stove because we're gonna leave the stove here. Then we'll just park it in the corner, so that should keep it protected. It's just not super secured right now, which it was fine for last night. But if there's any like big wind storms or anything until next time we come, I think I'll just take it down. Once we get more of a structure built, it should be completely fine to just leave a tarp over it, and that'll be our goal, is to make something that'll stand. So we'll take it off for now, but in the future we'll be able to leave it up. All right, just like that, got our tarp taken off. Now we'll move our stove up. Okay, this is basically how we're gonna leave our shelter while we're gone. So, looks pretty good, all packed up. Got my saw and my axe back out of my bag. So let's just take a little bit of time. We'll just go find a couple more trees, but nothing too much. So we'll just do it quick and then we'll be headed on out of here. All right, got a couple good logs cut. That'll give us a good head start next time when we come out here and keep working on our log cabin. Overall, it was a great shelter last night and a great start to a log cabin. So super happy with that, super happy with how it turned out so far. But it's time that we wrap up around here and get headed home. So let's grab our backpack and we'll start hiking out. If you liked this video, make sure to check out the Outdoor Cowboy YouTube channel. We've got new videos every week, survival adventures, camping projects, tool restorations, and a whole bunch more. Hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.